spending pushes the figure past $40 trillion. That number may rise in the coming months amid spending for the Iran war and its previously promised tax cuts take hold.
That's the latest news. Weather is next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
What is up? Happy Thursday. Inching closer to Monday.
Man, inching is right, man. It's like time is crawling before the greatest day of the week.
Before the greatest day of the week. I've been up for a lot today. I just want to let you guys know that. I don't think I've slept a lot. My cat is making sure that I get up on a regular basis.
Dude, I've been awake since 5:45 Tuesday morning.
How's that working out for us?
I feel like I'm hallucinating.
Yeah, I'm getting there. This is just, it's how bad mine was last night. I have no score on my sleep. None. No score. I didn't sleep.
Yeah.
I just, and I like a little sleep every now and then. I try to take a nap at least, because I know if I go home, I can nap for maybe an hour or so. I don't want to go too long, but I was like you, man. Today on my national show, I was like, I got to be honest. I'm exhausted. I went across the street and finally got an energy drink. That's how I was dragging ass.
Yeah, I hit Wally's bean machine earlier. I'm getting ready to go hit it again at the break.
Why don't you just drag it in there?
Yeah, I just, yeah, man. I think I might have dozed last night because I had a weird dream.
About?
I had a dream that I befriended a grizzly bear.
As you do.
And he became my pet. I was scratching his belly and he didn't mind. However, he didn't like anybody around me.
I think you were hallucinating playing World of Warcraft.
That might have been it.
You know what, though? You got to think about this for a second. Let's just say that is happening. You do find a bear. They're a good reader of people. So he may be looking around going, you know what? All these people are here to take advantage of Ken.
Yeah.
And I'm here to protect Ken.
He's like, Weaver, what kind of company are you keeping?
And he talks in your dream? That's a good dream.
Yeah, I mean, he was a big fella. He'd roll over on his back and I'd scratch his belly.
You're like Grizzly Adams.
Remember his bear, Ben?
Yep.
All Ben would do, he'd just go,
Yeah, it was like a bad Chewbacca.
yeah.
That's exactly what it was.
That was a fat bear, too.
Well, you keep them fat. That way they don't eat things around you.
Right.
You know, that's the beauty of it.
Well, that's how you keep a bear from eating you.
Yeah, except for grizzly bears. Because they just, they like doing stuff.
Grizzly bears, they, if they feel like you are in their space,
Yes.
even though you're maybe 50 yards away from them, especially if they're a mama grizzly bear.
If there's cubs around, whoo!
Yeah, they're going to take your head off.
There's a reason they call them mama bears.
Yeah.
Right? Like when you see a woman get mad about something and over their kid, they say, oh, it's a mama bear. The reason is because mama bears do that.
Yeah.
Right? Mama bear, you know why? Because dad's out working. That's why.
That's why.
That's why. He's got to bring back the salmon right after he has a drink.
Dude, I watch on YouTube, there's this national park channel on YouTube, and I think it's based in Alaska, one of our national parks in Alaska. And the camera is just trained on this river where at any given time there can be as many as 20 grizzly bears snatching salmon as they hop up out of the water. Oh. Very interesting to watch.
When I went up to Alaska I've been to Alaska, and there was just a bunch of, ne'er-do-wells running around, a bunch of people trying to, I thought my cruise was an actual cruise, and it was just a whole bunch of guys going there to give out subpoenas.
Yeah.
So we go there, and I take a tour, and they take you to a salmon farm. And so you go over to the salmon farm and let the salmon out, and it's amazing. So we're looking at these bears, and they're gorging themselves on salmon, right? Because it's just a beach, by the way. It's not like some special. You just walk over if you wanted to, and they could kill you right there.
Right.
The funny thing was, though, they kept telling us, wait till you see the eagles. The eagles eat so much they can't take flight.
That's what would happen to me.
Yeah, they're like trying to pump their things, and they go like 4 feet, and they come down. They're like, dude, I can't do this.
Yeah.
Oh, gummies, man. Everybody keeps saying take your gummies.
Take your gummies. Yeah. See, here's what's really weird is I actually just started taking a shot of myself of Willie's.
Yeah.
Before I go to bed. And I slept great. Let's see, Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night. Slept pretty good. Well, no, Monday night is when it started. So I've been up since Tuesday morning at 5:45, and that's when I didn't take my cannabis.
You got to do that.
So I got to get back on my cannabis, dude.
Somebody said,
especially before Mitch McConnell takes it all away from us.
So, and somebody also
jackass.
He is a. There's also, nobody's seen him, by the way. Still, there's been no sighting of him. His people won't answer any questions. You ever seen them chasing him down the street like they're TMZ? Hey, is Mitch alive? Where's Mitch? And they just ignore and put their heads down. We don't know. Nobody knows.
We're going to need John Thune to have another 20-minute conversation with him.
Oh, or Scott Jennings.
Yeah.
Scott's every day. Yeah, I talk to him all the time. No, you don't.
Yeah, and they all talk to him for 20 minutes.
Yeah, 20 minutes. Everybody. You know who doesn't talk to him? Everybody else.
I see him like at some point in the conversation, he looks at the clock on the wall and says, "Time's up.
Time's up.
Sorry,
Sorry,
leave me alone."
I got to go because I got John Thune on the other line. Scott, good talking to you. Tell everybody on CNN I talked to you.
I got more things I've got to do, like watch my stories.
People are suggesting you have some Bacardi and Coke.
No, alcohol doesn't let me sleep.
No. How's the ringing in your ears? Is that playing a role in this?
No, actually, I don't think that's it. It's there, but I don't know, man. I think I've just got some anxiety right now. I got some health things going on, in the family, and it's just kind of tough right now.
Well, man, that's not cool.
Yeah.
It's life, though, when you get older.
Dude, you just head down and go. And
that's it. So my wife's out in Arizona right now. She's going to be there for a couple more months. Dude. She's helping Grandma because Grandma can't do it anymore.
I just put my faith in Christ and just keep on going.
That's all you can do. That's it. At this point in time, especially, it's like we're at that age, too, where, we're in our 40s, and our parents are older, right?
Oh, yeah,
Your
man.
family is all getting older. You're dealing with those issues now that everybody has to deal with.
Yeah.
As your parents get older, and it's a struggle. I mean, it is. It's a grade A1 struggle dealing with, it's like I was talking to my mom the other day. She's fine, but my mom's like, I can't. She's got dementia or Alzheimer's.
Yeah.
And my aunt's only like 10 years older than me, if that, not even that.
Yeah.
And she pretty much raised me. But my mom's like, you need to talk to her to get her to go to the doctors, because I don't think she wants the results. But she goes, she goes, it's amazing. She goes, Chad, she doesn't remember anything.
Yeah.
Like at all. We'll go somewhere, come back, and an hour later, she's like, what did we do today?
Yeah.
And I'm like, God, it's like, it's crazy.
My dear mother-in-law who passed, I loved her so. She was so awesome. We started noticing, some odd behavior.
Yeah.
Like, she moved up to Boise with us after we moved up there. And she lived like less than a mile away from us. And for some reason, she didn't call us. My wife would call her and she wouldn't return the call. I mean, I went a month without seeing her. And I saw her in the grocery store one day. And all she did, she just kind of looked at me and she just said, oh, hi, Joey, how are you doing? And then she just walked away. Like she had just seen me. And I mean, I called my wife and I said, something's up.
Yeah.
Something's up. And then sure enough, we started noticing things like, she'd go to the store and forget that she had gone to the store, and she'd go back to the store.
Yes. And then not eat.
Right.
That was the other thing. They wouldn't eat. My grandmother did the same thing. She'd go to the store, she'd get food, and she's like, I haven't eaten in like 4 days.
Yeah.
You went grocery shopping. But the forgetting immediately that they went to the store or that they did something, that's scary.
Yeah.
What'd you guys end up doing?
Well, she ended up, it wasn't long after that she was diagnosed with cervical cancer.
Oh.
And unfortunately, they caught it too late. It had gone into her lungs, and she passed. It was probably about, I want to say it was at least, a couple of years later that she passed. And, she regained she was cognizant during a lot of it, but she wasn't, if that makes sense. She was just different.
Yeah, something was off.
Something was off. And, man, cancer's terrible.
It is terrible. But how about yesterday? Two biggest stories in the world outside of Iran. The debt, which we're going to talk about, which is just ungodly.
40 trillion, dude.
40 trillion. And yesterday, the announcement that went over well in the stock market for the companies, but of the vaccine for melanoma.
Yeah.
I mean, and it is crazy, but it didn't, this is the first step, because they've got some other ones out there, but this one is so different because they remove the melanoma. It's mRNA. Then what they do is it's like a 6-week period. They take that and then they go and they essentially create a vaccine that is specific to fight the cancer that this is in your body. It's amazing.
Yeah.
It is incredible. And I mean, and the other thing they were talking about is there's virtually no side effects. So nobody's feeling, because it's built with your DNA and stuff, nobody's feeling, it's not like, when they go over all the things that could happen to you.
Yeah, it's almost like it's not something foreign to your body.
Yeah.
Because it's using what's coming out of your body
to fight it, which is awesome. That's a huge story. But, it's just like the debt. What doesn't it do? It doesn't tickle the algorithms. Right. Doesn't get people angry. So there's no rage to be had there.
Well, and, Washington doesn't, they don't want us to pay attention to the debt.
Oh, God, dude, that is scary. I don't think people understand, like, what's going on. This is a tipping, you want to know what the biggest, it's not trans, it's not Muslims, it's not immigrants, it's not Iran. Our biggest issue is this debt. $40 trillion. This is going to change the way that we may have to do things in the future. Like, I don't know, do you like Social Security? Do you like Medicare? Do you like your how about them cutting it?
a decade ago, whenever it was only $19 trillion, there was a senator in Idaho who was saying this is the greatest threat to national security.
Yes, it is. And we continue to spend $2 trillion. And by the way, all of this spending that we're doing is not accounting for the war, and it's not accounting for the tax cuts that are coming. So the debt is going to grow immensely next year. And it's $40 trillion. Every man, woman, and child. I told my daughter, she turns 8 tomorrow. I said, Charlie, we got you $117,000 in debt. You're welcome.
Yeah.
I mean, it is insane. And I don't see anybody, today the bond market, if you guys aren't paying attention because it gets a little convoluted, we're so worried about this that Besson went out and tried to calm the bond market by buying back long-term debt and then selling short. We're not even robbing Peter to pay Paul. They're just handing money back and forth to each other. It's scary. And people don't understand that. Rates are going to stay high. Inflation is going to be stubborn. And now we're trying to figure out how we take on Iran by going, we're coming after you. By going economically after you. It's
and threatening our allies if they don't go along.
Yeah. Who are you threatening? By the way, they've been sanctioned to the ground. They've sanctioned Russia. Russia is the most sanctioned nation on the planet. They're doing okay. I mean, outside of the fact that they're getting blown up.
Well, a question I have is they keep talking about, we got more sanctions on them. Well, if Iran is so close to nuking us, I would do all the sanctions that we have.
Yeah. We've run out of sanctions. Now we're sanctioning others who work with them because we can't sanction them anymore. That's just it. So now it's anybody who works with you, anybody who helps you, we're going to come after them. Are we really? Are we really going to go after China? Because by the way, guys, China has decoupled in so many ways. So if we go and put any kind of tariffs on them or try to hit it doesn't matter. They've decoupled themselves. So for the most part, outside of trade, I mean, they're not worried about this. And China could turn up and say, we want to buy all the oil in the world and push the prices higher. Are we really going to go after them? Or are we only going to go after Austria if they bought oil from us?
Yeah.
Not the Austrians. Urgh. So it's going to be an interesting day. We're going to talk about the racetrack, right? What to do with the racetrack. I went down way too long of a rabbit hole today.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, about that. But Norm Parton's going to come in at 1 o'clock. We're going to discuss the ins, the outs, keep it, the pros, the cons, who's funding what, because that's also he's a little shady about stuff, Is there a middle ground? All kinds of stuff like that. So we're going to get deep into that next hour. I got a hilarious life hack coming up, by the way, for everybody who's worried about jobs. This guy's got the perfect way to get, once you're in an interview, to push it over the top and also show you that your resume is just useless. It's hilarious as well. Plus, we're going to talk a bit about that football thing. That was hilarious. That girl coming out. That was hilarious. But we have football on tonight, right?
It's Thursday night.
It's Thursday night.
I believe we do.
Yeah. So we got a little football on tonight. As we get closer. We're, not this weekend. Is it the following weekend is 0, right? Week 0 in college. And then it's go time for everybody.
Yeah, I think the NFL, kicks off like the first week in September.
Yeah.
Yeah, college usually kicks off the last weekend in August. Yeah. And then NFL football the first weekend in September.
Yeah, you get that first Thursday night game, So let's see here. Tonight we got the Raiders, Texans, Niners, Chargers. And then this is, man, I'm pumped. I'm so excited.
How many games tonight? 3 games?
Yeah, we got 2 games tonight. We got like 3 games tomorrow and then a buttload on Saturday. And then Sunday, the Titans got all by themselves taking on the world champion Seahawks.
Taking on the world champion Seahawks, dude.
This is it. And this is usually, now that they only play 3 games, this is the game where you're going to see the starters for at least a quarter, if not a half. Because nobody plays that 3rd game now, like they used to do in the 4th game. Nobody plays that game.
Yeah, you've got who you want, That last game is figuring out who among you don't want the most.
Yeah. Who of the 53 is going to be that 53rd player? 8 guys fighting for that position. So, all right, coming up, got a little life hack for you, among other things. Happy Thursday, everybody. Chad Benson, Super Talk 99.7. All right, Bulwark Capital, with all the things going on right now, Bulwark Capital would like to talk to you about what's going on in the market. Let me show you what they're all about. Lower risk, lower cost, lower volatility. Have a global outlook on things, which is phenomenal. And it's a chance to, get a second opinion, especially at a time like this where there's plenty of volatility, a lot of nerves, a lot of people out there trying to make sure that it's your investment, it's your retirement, you work so hard for this. You want to make sure you keep it. First of all, that's why risk management, number one issue with them. And secondly, you want to grow that thing. Right? Like we all do, our investments, our retirements, because that is what our future is all about and our family's future. So get a free second opinion. Bulwark will walk you through all the things that are going on in your account, show you what's happening. You may be in a perfect position. They may have some other options for you to take a look at. Simple and easy. Sign up for your Know Your Risk portfolio review today. Go to knowyourriskpodcast.com, KNOW, yourriskpodcast.com for Bulwark Capital Management.
All right, we got another low severe weather threat here in Middle Tennessee today, only in a different part of it. Also, medical experts talking about a potential breakthrough in cancer treatment. Details coming up at 12:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
I'll tell you guys this. A lot of people worried about the job market. So let's just say you get an interview. This guy's nailed really how companies view even resumes.
During an interview, you can just tell businesses you have a degree. They're never going to check that. My most recent interview, I told them I had a master's degree in bioengineering, and McDonald's didn't even check.
I love that. McDonald's didn't even check. Oh.
You know what, dude? I wonder if some companies actually don't check.
Vast majority of them don't check. Vast majority of them don't check. They don't. They don't. I mean, they just have the time, and you know what? I mean, it's they. I mean, because everybody's put a little mustard on their resume. Let's not pretend we haven't. We all have. But
I mean, I don't know how to build rockets, but nobody knows that.
I don't know about rockets, but
I mean, I've got some glue at home. I mean,
I can't actually do surgery, but I'll watch it. You know, if that's
I played the game Operation.
I'm pretty good at that. So I don't think a lot of companies probably do. I'm sure there are a lot out there that do, but I bet a lot don't. You know, I mean, it's especially if you're older, they probably don't check if you're older, right? Like, so if you're 40 or 50, as opposed to 22, you look like you just got out of college. You're probably, this person got out of college. You're 45. It's like, who cares? Oh, yeah, you can't get my transcripts are so old, they had to carve them into stuff. You can't get those.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't think McDonald's checks either, especially if it's about the fries.
I don't think they check.
I told them I was a bioengineer. And they said they didn't even check. Oh, Lordy, Lordy, Lordy. I'll tell you what, kids. Coming up, we're going to talk a bit about the debt. I think we should do a GoFundMe for America.
For America, yeah.
We've been so good, but we need a little help. You guys could really help us out. Also interesting about that lady that's paralyzed. God.
Yeah, this apparently happened to 4 patients.
Yes. Any news on the other ones?
They are all they all suffered what is described as catastrophic injury from the alleged medical mistake.
Yeah.
They haven't said exactly how that happened. So
No.
did somebody stab all these people or what?
No, it was.
Their lawyers are telling them to shut up.
Yeah, shut your pie hole, because if, 4 people, like we talked about yesterday, 250,000 people die a year from medical issues and mix-ups and operating rooms, things of that nature. Millions of people are injured. Not that it's a bad thing. It happens when you think about how many people go through all of these things. It is small, but it's still a big. When you go look at the top 10 killers, that's usually in the top 10. That's how crazy that is. All right, coming up, we're going to talk a bit about that. A bunch of other good stuff. And this guy did the Gen X thing. I'm going to run this by you when we get back. He did 10 things that say that you're a Gen Xer.
All right.
And we're going to do that when we do that straight ahead. Chad Benson Show, Super Talk 99.7.
12:30 on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. I keep saying that 65 north of Nashville in the Goodlettsville area has become the new 24 south of Nashville, because right now it is stop and go traffic, 65 both directions in Goodlettsville. Looks like they've got some blasting going on there. This is going to be between Rivergate Parkway, exit 96, and Louisville Highway 98. Also in West Nashville, still showing a crash blocking the off-ramp right lane, 40 eastbound to go eastbound on I-440. Low severe weather threat, mainly south of I-40 today. No risk of tornadoes. Full forecast coming up in 5 minutes. Medical experts talking about the potential breakthrough in cancer treatment. A personalized cancer vaccine is apparently showing promise. ABC News chief medical correspondent Dr. Tara Narula reports the treatment, built from a patient's own cancerous tumor, delayed the recurrence of a serious form of skin cancer and blocked its spread in high-risk patients.
Right now, this isn't approved, but what this is really hope. This is hope not just for melanoma, but for other cancers. They are, in fact, studying this for other cancers like non-small cell lung cancer, renal cell carcinoma, and many others.
Here in Middle Tennessee, the State Bureau of Investigation has now launched an active investigation into the drug mistake at Ascension St. Thomas Midtown in Nashville. Sources telling News Channel 5 that a medication intended for pain management was mistakenly replaced with another drug, causing multiple patients to suffer life-threatening complications. At least 4 patients were affected, with 2 reportedly paralyzed following routine outpatient surgeries. The hospital says it has taken corrective action while state regulators and the TBI continue their investigation. The hospital is not saying exactly what the mistake was. That's the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
Woo! There was some rain last night and this morning as well. Those cracks, you want to make sure that nothing's getting in there, right? Like the water. Next thing it's seeping in certain areas. You're worried about your foundation. USS, United Structural Systems, they're amazing. They'll come out and give you a free inspection. And why you want that is because a lot of times there are some things that maybe you've got issues. You haven't weatherproofed your house. We had some bad weather early this year, as we know. People didn't, the next thing you know, some water gets in certain areas. You don't have the means to get in there and look and say, what's going on in there? And all of a sudden you got wood rot, you got mold, or maybe even your foundation's starting to have serious issues, and that starts to snowball. Don't let that happen to you. Call USS, have them come out. They got great financing options, 10% discount when you pay in full. That's awesome. Fix it now, pay later, 18 months, no payment, no interest. Or choose 36 months, no interest, low payment options for qualified homeowners. It's about putting yourself and having that peace of mind that thing that you love, that house where those memories are protected, and USS does it better than anybody else. Call them today, 615-488-7855. 615-488-7855 or online at USSTN.com. Dun, dun. That lady who's paralyzed, so it was an epidural?
Yeah, she was supposed to get an epidural, but instead According to the report, it was potassium chloride.
Yeah, I saw one lawyer who said that basically eats away at your spine. And the way he put it was, as we talked about yesterday, almost all of the medicine looks the exact same. It's just clear in a bag, right? It's clear in a bag. You go or you clear it. And it's outside of a few things that are milky and stuff. So either somebody mislabeled it or they put it in the wrong place and it was just by habit. You grab it because you think this is supposed to be saline or whatever it is. And it wasn't. And yeah, this is going to cost them a ton of money because that lady's going to have care for the rest of her life now.
Yeah. I mean, so is she going to be paralyzed the rest of her life or does this go?
No,
it
sounds
away?
like she's going to be, they've told her she's going to be paralyzed for the rest of her life.
Goodness. Goodness.
It was a knee surgery, right? Is that what it was?
Yeah, it was knee replacement.
Normally they tell you when you go in, it's like, hey, right on the leg they're going to operate on. And the other one, right, don't touch.
Yeah.
Do not touch. Don't do it. Don't do whatever you do. Don't do it. Wouldn't be prudent. But, I mean, imagine going in, thinking something, and then all of a sudden now waking up to a world of, it doesn't really matter what we did to your knee, ma'am, because you're never going to walk again.
Man, that's terrible.
I mean, good God. And her kids came out and were talking. They said, look, our mom's got a lot of life in front of her. And now her life has changed. Everything is going to be completely changed. She's going to be in the wheelchair for the rest of her life.
It has changed that entire family's
Absolutely.
life.
You know, I mean, you got to think about how quick that, boom, go in, think it's no big deal. How many people have knee surgeries all the time? I mean, it's in, it's out, it's popped, they're moving on.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much become like just kind of routine, I think.
Oh, so hips and knees. I mean, it's just boom, boom, boom. And then all of a sudden, now your adult kids are trying to figure out, okay, we've got to move. One of us is going to have to move home and help dad with mom while we build around, the house where we can get, it's changed everything. And she's going to, like they said, she's going to need care for the rest of her life. And then the mental side of thinking you were going to get knee surgery and, I'm going to be able to go for a walk in the morning with Linda now, not be in pain. Only if Linda's pushing you for a while.
It's terrible, man.
It is terrible. Absolutely terrible.
How could you trust a doctor again after that,
Well,
I wonder if it was a doctor.
Well, it probably was. The thing is, though, if, you're getting stuff ready, I mean, was it the anesthesiologist who, did they have a PA or physician assistant anesthesiologist? Was there nurse? Somewhere along the line got broken. And it was so bad that 3 other people besides this lady were affected.
That's what I can't figure out. I mean, how do you not know you got a problem after the first one?
Well, everything's going on nearly at the same time. Even if it's a 2 or 3 hour period, she might be out. These other people might be out. You don't know what's going on until everybody's wide awake or something happens on the operating table. So, yeah, I have a feeling this is going to be very expensive because you not only do you have the pain, the suffering, but you also have their lifestyles changed, and you're going to have to cover that forever. Ooh, goodness me. Here's some other stuff. All right, guys, for all of you Gen X out there. All right, and this is Ken, this is you and I. Let's see if this guy, I love following this guy. He's a Gen Xer, and all he talks about is Gen X stuff. And it's interesting because he has 10 things that he says are scientifically proven. Actually, they've been looked at that represent the Gen X society better than anything else. Here we go.
Top 10 traits every Gen Xer has. Starting us off with number 10, weaponized independence. We were told go outside and come back when the streetlights come on. Asking for help now feels like admitting defeat.
A little bit. I think it's a little fair. I think there's a little bit of that's real. Let's see what's next.
Number 9, institutional skepticism. Corporations, politicians, advertising, authority figures. If you say trust the process, we immediately assume there's a catch.
Yeah, no doubt about that. 100%. Even before the internet and we were always skeptical about the man. We didn't hate the man, but we had some skepticism.
Number 8, we're incredibly hard to impress. So you landed a rocket vertically. Cool. We watched Airwolf do that back in the 80s. What else have you got?
True.
That's right.
I loved Airwolf. That was awesome. It's a great show. I think so far so good.
Number 7, emotional privacy. We have feelings, lots of them. You're just not invited.
Man, that's spot on. Right? We are the most independent of the groups. And by choice, right? Because the younger generation, we talked the other day, how they don't see each other, they don't do anything. That's not by choice. They're awkward, right? Yeah, we're like, yeah, we could go hang out with people, or we could not hang out with people. And by the way, we have people.
Number 6, roasting is our love language.
Boom.
We absolutely love being mean to our best friends. If we're not making fun of you, we probably don't like you.
Now, that is spot on. And I don't think, a younger generation doesn't get this. And you know this, Ken, we've talked about this. Like, the Kylies of the world, when they see people like us, we're out golfing, we're busting each other's balls, having a good time, and saying stuff that they would be absolutely just aghast to.
They're appalled.
Yeah, I said that. Why? Because he's my best friend. And I'm going to say that to him. And I'm also the person that would pick him up at 3 a.m. and bring a shovel and not ask any questions.
Right.
Because we're friends. That's who we are. Right. If I wasn't making fun of him, he would go, oh, I guess you don't like me.
I guess we're not friends anymore.
Yeah, that's how you know. It's like, dude, he stopped busting my ball. I don't think he likes me anymore. Continue.
Number 5, self-deprecation. Going along with that, if we like ourselves, well, we make fun of ourselves. And nobody makes fun of us better than we do. We happen to know where all the good material is.
True. Very, very true. That is us.
Number 4, spite. We don't get mad, we get even.
It's a little bit of a possibility right there. That's it. I love watching the millennials and the who will tell the Gen Z, hey, just mess with the boomers. Just leave Gen X alone, because
they've got a hair trigger.
Yeah, they don't care, and they'll tell you they don't care after they've eaten your soul. So let's just turn and walk away.
Number 3, we get mad. We just won't let you know we're mad until it is way too late. We're basically the David Banners of the generational set. Don't make me angry, Mr. McGee. You wouldn't like me when I'm angry.
Man, yeah.
Yeah, we do hold things in until it explodes.
You know what? It's what's the old saying? The explosion matches the fuse.
Yeah,
right?
Because back in our day, whenever if we tried to pour our feelings out, we got made fun of or beaten up.
Yeah. And so we hold it in.
To just get over it.
You'll be fine. Just rub some dirt on it. A little tussing. But there is that weird thing, where the fuse, the bomb is going to be bigger than anything that it probably should be. But it took a long time for the fuse to get there.
Yeah.
But once it's there, there is no turning back, and we're about to burn some bridges.
Number 2, a deeply inappropriate and almost always dark sense of humor. It's a coping mechanism developed by a generation of children who watched the Challenger explode live on television in their classrooms, and then were expected to just go back to math.
Yeah, I have a horrible sense of humor.
You got a pretty twisted sense.
My sense of humor is, let's just say, off the air. It's brutal. It's the kind of
you and Brother Bilal both, man.
He'll look at me and he's like, I said something the other day. He's like, dude, he could stop laughing. He goes, that is the most twisted. I can't help it. Right? It's just who I am. I grew up in a very tough time. I grew up in a dark life that I lived, and I find certain things,
right,
especially at inappropriate times, to be funny.
Right.
I can't help it. And sometimes I want to feel bad, but I'm going to laugh.
And then finally, number 1, sarcasm. No, really? Obviously. Because expressing a sincere emotion without wrapping it in 3 layers of irony sounds absolutely horrifying. Whatever. We're fine.
Amen. I think that's about spot on. Those are 10 you could take to the bank with us.
Yeah.
There.
One thing about it, too, is, I think one thing that's sad for kids today is, let's say they do get bullied at school. I think bullying today is a lot worse because they also have to deal with it on social media. Like, if I got bullied at school, it was over after I left school.
Yes.
Nowadays it's all the time because of social media. But here's the thing. In today's age, if you try to fight your bully, you're the one who gets in trouble.
Yeah. Yeah. And when we were younger, right? Bullying was kind of like there's the it's either the super cool kids or the that are jocks or the tough guy at school that's like 3 years older than everybody else and kind of the nerds. Now, you could be the coolest kid in school and still get bullied.
Yeah.
And it doesn't end. We ended at 3:00 on Friday. I didn't have to worry about anything till Monday.
Yeah. I mean, either that or Friday night, this one old boy, he'd find me and try to beat me up, but I'd always find a way to get away from him.
Yeah.
He's a big old boy.
And the other thing, too, is you would get in a fight at school, and for the most part, it would end there. And later on that day, you guys were like, dude, I'm sorry about that. That was
right.
And next thing you know, you're cool.
Right.
Not that way anymore.
No. It's like I told my kids, I said, if there's ever a fight at school and everybody's gathered around it, I said, you get away from it.
Yes.
Because somebody might pull a gun.
Totally different. Totally. We never, now we had drive-bys, where I live, we had drive-bys and stuff, but that was all gang related.
Right.
I never worried, even when gangsters fought at school, I never once worried they were pulling a gun at school.
Yeah.
Now it's like, like you said, man, the beef.
Everybody in my high school had a gun. I mean, there were rifles and shotguns in the racks.
Yeah, because you might see something on the way home you want to shoot.
Right, and nobody went and got their gun.
No, it's a different, man. It's
just a different.
It's a different world.
Different
but
world.
I also think because of the way that we handle things, conflict resolution doesn't happen anymore.
Right.
We don't know how to, and you can even see it with the way that people interact on the internet. We no longer have a way to. People just go straight to 10 in anger. They say ridiculous things. They become tribal, and there is no conversation. There's no nuance. There's no trying to. It's all anger all the time.
Yeah, and the videos that you're watching, and a lot of it, you've got to realize that a lot of the videos you're watching are not in the proper context.
No,
especially these race baiting videos.
Oh, God. They're a minute out of 12.
Right.
They're 30 seconds out of something, and it's so. And now with AI, so easy to do anything you want with a video in today's world. It's crazy. It is crazy. I mean, that's why. You know what? That's why. I rarely go to Twitter except to get news and to look at a few things. Otherwise, I don't go to Twitter because Twitter is a cesspool. Most of the people that you're arguing with out there, by the way, are bots.
And that's where a lot of the race baiting is,
yeah.
man.
Yeah.
Like, just, and most of it are blacks and whites fighting each other.
Yep, blacks and whites fighting each other.
And it the actual fight probably has nothing to do with race at all.
No. Somebody stole somebody's girlfriend, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it is just, but it's the algorithms of anger that keep everybody divided. Nobody wants to have a conversation. There's no nuance anymore. I think they should teach conflict resolution or conversation in school. How to have, debates. We don't even do that. It's sad. It is sad. But also because we no longer allow kids to find that out for themselves.
That's a big point, man.
That's a huge thing.
We have shielded them from so much. I mean, I got to be honest with you, man. I think it's taking kids longer to mature.
Yeah.
I feel like when we were in our 20s, I just feel like we were a lot more mature because we were a lot more autonomous.
We were. Well, we had freedoms. We weren't called free-range kids. We were kids, right? If we got into a conflict, we solved it and we moved on with our life. We were allowed to get to the place where we became adults, where now they stay children for a long time. We don't allow them to overcome hurdles.
Yeah, you got to make mistakes.
You got to. Absolutely.
You got to make mistakes that hurt.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, sometimes it hurts real bad.
Sometimes it does hurt real bad. But if you don't, how do you grow?
You learn.
And then what happens is you throw them out into the world, mom and dad, and now they've got to make those mistakes they should have made when they were 15, when they're 22.
Because the world still has big teeth.
Yes, it does. And
Real big teeth and claws.
It's biting all the time, and every time it bites, it's also biting you in the wallet. I'll tell you that right now.
Yes.
Coming up, Bell is not here. Ryan is, so he's going to fill in for Bell doing sports, and it's still award-winning. Chad Benson Show, Super Talk 99.7. Relief Factor is incredible. It actually deals with the underlying issues of aches and pains in your body on a daily basis. I'm working out a lot more than I have been, and I will tell you, I feel great. I feel refreshed, and I love that. And, as we get older, inflammation, that's the big issue. And if you take, a lot of stuff, it masks the pain. Not Relief Factor. It works from the inside out, which is incredible. It's naturally formulated, third-party tested for purity and potency. And the way it works is you take it, it goes in and fights that inflammation. It's got omega-3s and curcumin and all this stuff. I swear by this stuff. And like I said, I take it every single day. So what I want you to do, I want you to try a 3-week quick start, $17.76, right? Right there, 3-week quick start. Put it to the test. You can get it by going to relieffactor.com, relieffactor.com, where you call 800-4RELIEF. 800, the number 4RELIEF for Relief Factor.
All right, drivers in West Nashville still got a crash on the off-ramp right lane. That's going to be 40 eastbound off-ramp to eastbound 440. Paragon Mills now a crash. Harding Place right there at 24. And medical experts talking about a potential breakthrough in cancer treatment. We've got that story and more at 1 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Yes, indeed. A lot of you guys chiming in about our good friend, the Gen Xer. We'll probably do it again later because I think we need to go back over it. But first,
now it's time for Sports with Bell. When you need to know sports information, you turn to the guy who calls basketball shooty hoops. Let's talk some sports with Bell. But it's Ryan instead.
It's Ryan instead. Bell will be back on Monday, the greatest day of the week. What you got for us today, Ryan?
There was something intriguing I heard earlier. You said something about a woman running up on a football field and getting a player.
It's a middle school game. A young girl ran on the field. She was 16, and she decleated somebody.
Yeah.
That's the best way to describe it.
Yeah.
Now she faces charges.
Assault charges.
Yeah. So,
yeah, I haven't. Was she mad because maybe her brother was on the opposing team and maybe he got decleated, so she went out and decleated the person who decleated her brother or something?
Everywhere I look, I don't really see, what exactly led to it. It was kind of an ass whooping already because they caught, the game was over from there. But I'm not going to lie. I mean, she laid him out.
She did.
She did.
It's middle schoolers.
Yeah. She's 16, but still,
but she's like skinny.
Yeah, she's skinny. She did, though. She put a hit on him. I was watching I'm flipping around last night. I watched the Philadelphia Union soccer game, MLS, and there was a fight on the field, and one of the Sullivan brothers was on the ground. The other Sullivan brother ran over, and the player went to turn around and get into a fight with him. But that Sullivan, Cavan, he's the future of American soccer. He's only 16, and the guy pulled back. He's like, I can't do that because you're still a child.
Right. Good thinking on his part.
Oh, indeed. Coming up, we're going to talk about the racetrack. So you guys can say horrible things, I'm sure, about me, but we're going to get some of it straightened out. We're going to talk about it. We're going to look at all different sides here. We got somebody coming in to talk about it, so settle down. Chad Benson, Super Talk 997.
One o'clock on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast coming up in 5 minutes. Medical experts talking about a potential breakthrough in cancer treatment. A personalized cancer vaccine showing promise. ABC News chief medical correspondent Dr. Tara Narula reports the treatment built from a patient's own cancerous tumor delayed the recurrence of a serious form of skin cancer and blocked its spread in high-risk patients.
There are vaccines for cancer already, but what's novel here is it's personalized.
State investigators looking into a medication mistake at a Nashville hospital that reportedly harmed 4 patients during routine surgical procedures. TBI confirming its investigation into the incident at Ascension St. Thomas Midtown remains active and ongoing. Family members say 2 patients were left paralyzed while others remain critically ill after receiving the wrong medication. Hospital leaders have apologized and say enhanced safety protocols are now in place, but they have not said what went wrong. And Iran has responded to President Trump's new vow to go after countries that help Iran. The Iranian foreign minister posted online, quote, "The so-called economic D-Day is a diversion from America's own crisis, unprecedented debt, and surging interest costs." ABC News national security and defense analyst Mick Mulroy of the U.S. national debt surpassing a record $40 trillion yesterday.
It's going to have a consequences, like it's going to have a consequences for everything across society, social security, healthcare, etc.
Back to school photos shared online could be vulnerable to a troubling new form of AI manipulation. CBS News says it found some photo editing apps can create realistic, fake, nude images from fully clothed pictures in less than a minute. Researchers say many teenagers have already encountered AI-generated pornography, and some report seeing images of themselves or people they know. Safety experts are urging families and schools to educate students about the risks and consequences. No testimony today at the Meta trial in Oakland, California, as a juror is out sick. Yesterday, the trial started with opening statements. Meta's accused of luring teens and children into its social media platforms. Here's Mike Nabusky.
We've already heard the prosecution mount this defense targeting specifically the design of Facebook and Instagram. And this is an important legal shift because oftentimes we talk about all the harmful content that we see on these platforms, things like cyberbullying, nefarious actors kind of trying to lure people to nefarious parts of the internet. In the past, legal challenges that have involved that content have been unsuccessful by and large because they're protected by Section 230 of the Communications Decency Act. That holds that a platform cannot be held liable for the content that gets published there.
That's the latest news. Weather is next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
Oh, very contentious time. What to do with the fairgrounds, the racetrack. Now, you guys start sending horrible text messages to me. Norm is here. Norm Parton, Dolly Parton's brother. We always joke about. But who, by the way, used to host a show here a long time ago. But you're a longtime fan.
Yeah.
Big supporter. Would you say 1959 was when you went to the first race
my
there?
first race at 5 years old.
Wow.
1959, and I've been there ever since.
So, and you reached out to Matt this week and said, hey, I heard Chad talking about this. I'd like to come talk to him. And I said, good, let's get it all out. I want to have everybody on. Let's talk about this because there's a lot of misinformation, disinformation, a lot of double dealings and sneakiness. People worried about, what's Ingram doing? There's another group over here. What are they doing and everything? So let's get it out of there. First of all, your perspective, you guys are going up against a lot of money, a lot of people out there, who are pushing to, let's just get rid of it, throw up, just redo the whole thing.
Well, obviously they're trying to undo the Metro Charter that was done in 2011 by 72% vote favor. those signatures to get on the ballot were done by us. Nobody got paid. The racing community and people in the neighborhoods actually knocked door to door to get enough signatures to get on the ballot for 2011. And it did pass with 72% of the vote to protect the existing uses of the fairgrounds, which is the fair, which was the state fair at that time, the flea market and exhibition buildings, and automobile racing. So right now the Metro Charter protects that as the existing use from 2011. So then comes along Carl Dean, mayor, who wanted to dig it up, throw it away, which caused the referendum that we won by 72%. A huge defeat for Carl Dean, and he was using false information to tear it down. So we go along, and Megan Barry puts the soccer stadium there and gave the Ingram Group 10 free acres to build stuff to subsidize the soccer team that will never stand on its own. So the Nashville taxpayers, Davidson County, gave up 10 acres of prime land for private use, which is an insult to me as a taxpayer. I'm born and bred in Nashville. I've been a taxpayer all my life. So they gave away 10 acres of Metro property. And now he wants more. And they're getting a petition to get it on the ballot, and they're lying. I mean, they've been caught. It's on video. They are absolutely 100% lying to people to get them to sign.
And this is it's for affordable housing thing that they're saying to get them on there.
The first lie is they're going to tear down, the speedway is going to be torn down anyway. That was their first pitch, which is 100% a lie. And then they move to affordable housing and do not mention that they're tearing down the racetrack, although it's in the fine print. But they continue to lie. We even have them on tape saying they work for Metro government. So if your deal is so good, why do you have to lie? I mean, and untruth, whatever you want to, it's a damn lie.
Yeah.
And one of the first videos that came out was me walking up to somebody, and he said they're going to tear down the speedway anyway. And my comment was, that's an absolute lie. People have seen that video. It's viral. And I can't, for the life of me, understand why the Ingram family, who is funding this whole thing out of greed, has to lie. Why do you have to lie? Why do you even... when they put out this thing the other day, Mike Kopp, who's a political hack, I wish he would come on with me. I'd love to debate with him. He's the one instigating the petitions and making people lie. So, and that's harsh terms, but it's the truth that they lie.
So you've got the Ingram Group, then you have another group that you've got the people that live around there. It's like
that's about 15 people.
So, it's once again, but there's a lot of things going into this. And the question I think a lot of people ask is, okay, so let's just say, what's the case for keeping because it does need to be refurbished. I mean, let's be real. We got to do something. And people live around there. 2011 to now, the way that things are developed, the way that Nashville has exploded, you want to update it. And it's been around for such a long time. And so, the case for doing that, what's that going to cost? Who's going to pay for it? I think that's a big question, too.
That is the question.
Yes.
So Speedway Motorsports owns 11 racetracks across the country, one of the most successful promoters of spectator events in the world.
Yeah.
They own Bristol Motor Speedway plus 10 more racing facilities, included the one in Lebanon. So they have come in and they have offered to refurbish the track, restore it the way it should be, bring it up to date. Electrical, plumbing, safety issues. The restrooms are atrocious because they've been ignored by Metro. Zero taxpayer money. Zero. Not only is it zero taxpayer money, they are paying a rent payment that puts money like $40 million into the coffers over the term of the lease. They're wanting to lease it for 30 years. The Titan Stadium and Bridgestone Arena were put into play, and then Metro was responsible for the upgrades and improvements. This track deal does not have a taxpayer fund for anything for 30 years. They pay for their own upgrades, their own improvements.
So,
So taxpayer zero investment plus a positive cash flow to the general fund.
Okay. Because I've looked, I mean, they've submitted 3 or 4 things that they're interested in doing, because like everything, it moves so fast. 1 minute's this, 1 minute's that. And people, like you said, the thing, Norm, is who's paying for it. Because at the end of the day, everybody wants to know who's paying for it, who's benefiting from it. And what would you like to see done as far as refurbishing? What do you think could be done there to bring it up where it's going to bring people in here?
Right.
Because that's the other thing, too. You want it to be a destination come. It's a short track. It's pretty awesome compared to, what you have out there in Lebanon. It's a much more unique area and thing, and it's in the heart of everything.
Okay. There's 2 things.
Yeah.
One is if Bristol does this deal, they're going to bring a Cup Series level here race every other year, once every other year. That would be the only traffic issue that is part of this deal. The rest of the stuff does not involve traffic and off-site parking.
Okay.
So the soccer team does 33 events a year that infringe on the neighborhood. We would do 1 every other year. 1 every other year. All right, the second thing is this is one of the strongest local racing programs in the country. Right now, there are more than 40 kids under the age of 14 racing at the fairgrounds. This is their only place to race, okay?
Okay.
So let's take away their sport and screw those kids out of what they do. I can show you pictures of them. They are darling kids, 8, 9 years old, out there running a Bandolero or a Legends car. If you took away all the soccer or all the baseball from Metro Nashville, they would burn this city down.
Yeah.
This is ours. This is what we've had, and they've been racing there since 1958 on a regular basis. Not only are they going to do that, but the Bristol deal puts a sound wall all the way around the track, which cuts the noise down by roughly 50%.
Which is good. I mean, if you live there, obviously that's a loud thing, and and Bristol. I was reading. Bristol said, look, for a lot of the races, the sound will be virtually nothing. There's only so much they could do when it comes to a Cup event because those are much different cars,
right?
Obviously, rather than just those, like you said, those small cars. Talking to Norm Parton, who's in here, is a longtime supporter of the fairgrounds and the racetrack. There's a lot of 16 acres, 118 acres?
116.
116 acres that are out there. And there's all kinds of, like everything, bring in independent studies. Want to do this. Where's this money going to come from? We need affordable housing. A lot of people are throwing stuff out there. And you and I both know this, man. Follow the money, right? Because money is king at the end of the day. And when you look at this and you think, okay, is there a way to do a little bit of both? I mean, they've looked at that. They've got other parts that they've talked about. Maybe make it a mixed use and keep the fairgrounds parts of the fairgrounds and update everything and make it a cool shops and food and tax money and some affordable housing and keep the racetrack.
Have you been there?
Yes, I've been there, but I haven't been. It's funny. I've never been to. I played pro soccer. I've never been in the soccer game. I've driven by it. I've been there. I've seen it.
Okay. Well, they built 30 yards from the racetrack.
Yeah.
Which they took away property that's been used for years for racing. So the offer has been made to coexist. The owner of Speedway Motorsports has reached out to John Ingram multiple times. Not a return email, not a return phone call, not a return fax. Not one. How damn arrogant is that? How arrogant that you won't even talk to the other people. That when they built the stadium, if Bristol had been alongside them, dual use facilities, the electrical, everything could have been done and saved everybody money, saved both parties money. But the fact of the matter is there's no taxpayer money involved with the Speedway. Winston Cup. I show my age. I'm sorry.
Whoa, that's a little bit old.
I'm old. I can't help it. a cup level race will bring as much economic impact to this city once every other year than the whole soccer stadium does in a year for soccer games. Think about that. You're bringing in sponsors from all over the country and world. You're bringing in fans. The race in Lebanon, the cup race back in June, all 50 states had people come. Tickets were sold in all 50 states in 14 foreign countries. Nashville is a destination.
Oh, it is a destination.
And the sponsors want to be here. They want to be downtown Nashville. And the sponsors, people like Pennzoil, the beer companies, the cola companies, they're bringing in executives from all over the country. It is a huge economic win. Greed on the Ingram side, and Mike Kopp, the political hack, who refuses to speak to anybody, and Ingram, who refuses to speak to anybody, they're in it for greed. Absolute greed. The drawings that they submitted, did you see affordable housing there?
No. Well, and we've talked about affordable housing.
Yeah, but they've also already have affordable housing, and they're doing away with it.
Yeah.
They also promised and signed papers to build a child care center. They have not done. So they lied about that stuff. They haven't fulfilled what they're doing. Why would we trust them? They lie about the petition. They lie about that. How do they even have credibility?
Oh, we're going to find that out.
That's a good question, isn't it?
That's it. Well, we're doing everything we can to get the other side on so we can all have conversations about this.
Good luck.
Yeah, well, I said we're trying, Norm, okay? We're trying.
Yeah, have them sit in that chair right there with me.
I will.
Bring them in.
Well, if we get him on, I'll tell him come on in, or at least get you on the phone or something.
Yep.
Norm Parton's here. You can stick around for another segment or two,
Sure.
right? All right, he's here. We're talking about the, obviously, the fairground, the racetrack, what could be done, the battle that's going on there, the lies, all that. It's bobbing and weaving. It's crazy. We have more straight ahead Chad Benson, Super Talk 99.7. All right, you got it. Home title. I'm telling you guys, it's easier to steal a house now than it is to take a TV. I was talking to a guy named Matt Cox yesterday, who is he's a big YouTuber, but he did 12 years in prison for stealing homes. And he was telling me how easy. He goes, back then he had to go around and he would have to look and do all this stuff and become almost, brilliant in the way that he printed stuff. He goes, you can do it now in 5 minutes. And it was crazy. That's why home title lock is so important. And it's happening more and more every day. It's easier to do with AI because all your public information's out there. Next thing you know, boom, all of a sudden you find out way too late that somebody's taken out hundreds of thousands of dollars on your home and its equity, and now the fight begins. With home title lock, you get 24/7 where they monitor everything. Anything happens to your title, you're alerted. And this is what's great. Something does happen. You become a victim, they're going to spend up to $1 million to restore your title. So this is what I want you to do. Right now, save big and get a free, and this is absolutely free, it's not going to cost you anything, title history check report, as well as a free trial of the $1 million triple lock protection. Go to HometitleLock.com/Benson. Use the promo code Benson. HometitleLock.com/Benson. All right. So how long ago did you work here?
Medical experts talking about a potential breakthrough in cancer treatment. That story and more coming up at 1:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Norm Parton is here, not Dolly's brother. He lied. Longtime supporter of the fairgrounds and the racetrack. We're talking about that. Let's talk about what goes on there now, because I think a lot of people are always, because a lot of people, they don't frequent it. They don't go watch the race. They don't even know what goes on down there. And I think they're also, like last week, they had a movie. They replayed cars. Movie night. There, because they want to, show, look, this can be used for all kinds of things. What does go on there now? Like, how many dates are being utilized?
So that's a great point. They are restricted now to 10 race weekends a year. So local racing generally has open practice on Friday afternoon.
Yes.
And then race Saturday night. That's a typical race weekend. When a larger event comes to town like the All-American 400, they're Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. But it's 10 race weekends per year. They have even said it's 10 weeks per year on the other side. It's a weekend.
It's a weekend.
All right. So if Bristol comes in, when Bristol comes in, it's 10 race weekends. So nothing changes there. So now there are divisions that run on the 5/8 mile track, which are pro late models and super late models, which are $150,000 machines. It takes about $500,000 to $750,000 a year to operate one of those teams, and there's like 30 of them here. So these people have invested huge amounts of money into that. There are divisions that run on the quarter-mile track that are more of a hobby-like division, plus some serious racers on the quarter-mile. Then you have Legends Cars, which is owned by Speedway Motorsports, same that owns Bristol Motor Speedway, that look like the old coupes, motorcycle engines.
Yeah.
It's something that if you wanted to, you could race for $25,000 to $30,000 a year and have a lot of fun. We have a national champion that races out of Nashville in that division. And then you have bandoleros, which are 8, 9, 10-year-old kids. It's basically a go-kart, but it's got a roll cage, full safety equipment, and a body on the car. And this is where Joey Logano started. You've heard of Joey Logano. Yeah. Bubba Wallace started there. And these kids do this. Some kids play baseball, some play soccer, some play lacrosse, basketball, whatever. These kids race. Not only is it the sport that they run, but they maintain their own cars.
Yeah.
And I can tell you right now that you take an 8-year-old that's been running 2 years in a bandolero will know more about geometry than a 10th grade student in high school. You learn about what weight distribution is and all of the geology of how the caster camber works on a car. They are learning things as they go. They're not out on the streets and they're not watching video games. They are working on their race cars. And Ingram wants to take them out of business.
Right now, who maintains everything over there?
Well, it's city property, yes. And there is a leaseholder, Track Enterprises, that is the leaseholder for the 10 weekends a year. Bristol Motor Speedway did movie night.
Okay.
They leased the track that night, and it was a fun deal. They had a thing, Touch a Truck, where they had SWAT operating out there. They had fire engines with the ladders up. They had police cars. It was a neat thing. K9 came out and did demonstrations. They had all kind of bouncy houses, inflatables, free popcorn, and we had about 14 race cars out there, and the kids were able to get inside a race car and get their picture made. It was a fun evening. We had 8 bandoleros there with the drivers that were able to relate to the kids coming, and it was a very neat deal. Need to do it more often.
What would be the cost to to redo everything, and how long would that take?
Well, the Bristol plan is to add grandstands, luxury suites. The racetrack will remain absolutely the same. You take a picture of it today,
That's what it's going to look like then.
It'll be the same size. It's not expanding anything. They're putting up safer barriers and new safety stuff that is way overdue. And because the city only allowed short-term leases for the last few decades, no one can invest money and get their investment back. You can't repave the racetrack and get your money back because you could be thrown out at any time. So this 30-year lease solves all of that. To put the track the way that Bristol wants to do it is going to be around $90 million. It would be a revenue bond for about half of that. There's $34 million already in place to go against the 90 or so. If they go over, Bristol's responsible for it. If they decide to add something that's not in the initial plan and it busts the budget, they pay for that. So once again, no taxpayer money. If you live in Davidson County, you gain money from this. And then you talk about the economic impact. You know, that's a number that nobody can actually put their fingers on.
Yeah, I've looked at a lot of the different things that have been thrown out there.
You bring 30,000 people to Nashville and put them in hotel rooms, you have an impact. Now, your dollar and my dollar might differ on that, but there's going to be an impact.
Absolutely.
It's obvious impact.
And we saw it with the draft, obviously. You see, and
fireworks.
The Super Bowl that's coming, they're all excited.
And this city spends a lot of money to bring people here.
Yeah.
And we're offering to do it for nothing.
Yeah. So, and think about this, guys, for all of you listening out there. Those people are going to come here from all over the world, and by the time everything's said and done, they're going to be able to go to a Chili's because we'll have priced everybody out through property taxes. So there's that.
Might be McDonald's.
But they're going to go there. Yeah. If you want to tell people one thing that you think that maybe they don't know that you want to get out there about why it's so important that we keep this.
All right. There's a website or a Facebook page that I run called NASCAR 2 Nashville, and the 2 is the number 2. There is Decline to Sign website. If you sign the contract, and you have changed your mind or you were misled or lied to, you are able to withdraw your name by going to the Decline to Sign website. And it's Decline to Sign Nashville. So that is important. I yesterday had 2 people call me that took their name off because when they found out the truth, they felt like they were lied to and they took their name off. So we want to defeat this. We don't want enough people to sign to get it on the ballot. Bristol needs to come in here and make this thing right. And if people want to do what's best for the taxpayer, and if it's a positive cash flow, that's potholes, school books, gas for school buses. It's money coming to you. That's what this is about. It's not about the greed. We're trying to offer up free money to Nashville and sustain the legends that have been at that racetrack. You just don't come in and tear up my Nashville for greed. We've heard that my Nashville, being a native, is going away. We want to save everything we can save of Nashville.
Right on. Norm Parton, I appreciate you coming in today, man. I appreciate that a lot. And like I said, we're going to try to get the other side on. But as you said, and several other people, we've tried in a lot of ways to get the other side on or anybody on. Marsha, we're still looking at you. And a lot of times they don't return phone calls.
Well, it's called being a man and being an adult. If you're passionate about it, stand up and let's talk about it. Hide in the shadows. That's their plan. They hide in the shadows and they won't respond to the lies that they're telling. So there's an empty chair sitting right there. I'm willing to sit here with Mike Kopp or John Ingram, anybody. But they're chicken. They're chicken. Yeah. And I called them that. Norm Parton called them a chicken.
You heard Norm Parton say, he said, bark, 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 bark. We will see. Norm, thanks so much for coming on today. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Chad Benso, Super Talk 99.7. Awesome, man.
So how does that change?
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Much of Middle Tennessee still under a risk of severe weather today. If any storms pop up and go severe, they'll all be south of I-40. We're at a level 1 out of 5 risk today. Full forecast coming up in 5 minutes. Medical experts talking about the potential breakthrough in cancer treatment. A personalized cancer vaccine, they say, is showing promise. ABC News chief medical correspondent Dr. Tara Narula reports the treatment built from a patient's own cancerous tumor delayed the recurrence of a serious form of skin cancer and blocked its spread in high-risk patients.
This is kind of a novel idea of using this sort of injection or to generate an immune response, but instead of to an infection, you're generating it to tumor cells.
The Tennessee Bureau of Investigation is reviewing the serious medication error at Ascension St. Thomas Midtown Hospital in Nashville. Incident reportedly involved 4 patients undergoing routine joint replacement surgeries who suffered severe complications from getting the wrong drug. Family members say 2 patients were left paralyzed and at least 1 patient remains hospitalized in critical condition. The hospital says it has completed an internal review, identified the cause, and implemented additional safety measures, but the hospital is not saying what caused the mistake. And Iran has responded to President Trump's new vow to go after countries that help Iran. The Iranian foreign minister posted online, quote, "The so-called economic D-Day is a diversion from America's own crisis, unprecedented debt, and surging interest costs." ABC News national security and defense analyst Mick Mulroy on the U.S. national debt surpassing a record $40 trillion yesterday.
We're going to be paying more in interest on the debt per year than we're going to be paying for our defense budget per year.
Well, some consumer news now. Walmart says it's putting nearly $3 billion in tariff refunds back into lower prices for shoppers. Company executives say Walmart's received most of the $2.9 billion it was eligible to get back after a court ruling struck down certain tariffs. The retailer says the money will help fund lower prices on groceries and everyday merchandise. Walmart's already cut prices on thousands of products, including beef, soft drinks, and laundry detergent, with this refund money. That's the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
Kids back in school. It's time to make sure your home is ready too. Right now, Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling is helping you save with their biggest back to school offers of the season. So when you go and you schedule an HVAC maintenance or complete HVAC repair, you're going to get a free dryer vent cleaning, minimum $500 HVAC repairs to qualify. Top of that, if you're thinking about a new system, this is great. This is why I love Busy Bee. First of all, they're amazing. The work they've done is second to none. But when you purchase a high-efficiency HVAC unit, right now, you're going to be entered in to win a Healthy Hive giveaway. It's a $1,500 sponsorship for the local school of your choice. Plus, qualified teachers, faculty, and staff will receive free Beehive membership. So if you get one or you renew one, you can gift one to somebody from school. How awesome is that? And if you have any need for plumbing work, they got you covered. $500 gift card with qualifying whole home repipes or mainline replacements with approved credit. You can even enjoy 0% financing for 18 months. Call Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling today. 615-775-7833. That's 775-7833 or online at busybehvac.com. Appreciate Norm coming in. He used to do a NASCAR show here, WTN, a long time ago. Like a long time ago, he said. And I was like, really? He goes, I've been around for a while. I said, why don't you race? He goes, I'd love to race, but my wife would divorce me. Said, I understand that.
That costs money.
Therein lies the magic of it all. Ken, it's at the end of the day, it's always about the dollar bills, yo.
Always.
And racing is one of those things where you do it for the love of the sport. The reality is, if you're doing it like this, you're not making, you spend $100,000, you're not making $100,000 back. And even today, I read an article today. Get ready for this. This is how expensive pro sports are. The average billionaire, which is weird to say, right? Priced out of buying a professional franchise. Think about that. You just think back in the day, it's like, you got $1 billion, you could buy it. Nope, no chance. If you're worth $5 billion, you better get a whole bunch of friends together, figure it out if you're going to buy the Cowboys.
That's a fine football team. Very expensive, but a fine football team.
I was talking about the other day, I was like, when Jerry's alive, he's never going to sell it.
Heck no.
But are his kids, would they? If he passed away and somebody said, we'll give you a $20 billion check right now. Because Jerry's whole identity is the football team. And it's a fine football team.
Fine football team.
He is hilarious. He is so funny. God, that's the thing about Jerry has made that team so big, so massive. And, the one team that transcends globally, soccer, you got Real Madrid or Messi, you've got all these teams, Barcelona, Man United, all over the place. The Yankees and the Cowboys. That's just it. Sorry, Titans, not you guys. I wonder how much they could get for. I still think they could probably get $10 billion for the Titans. Once people saw that $12.5 billion, which they're already having issues with because apparently Jeannie doesn't want to sell her portion of the team. So the buses are fighting. Oh, so Ken, you know what? If you get that tuna boat, we can buy the Cowboys, no problem.
Now, let's see. How many tuna would we have to catch?
See.
About 100?
No,
no, about 999.
Yeah, we'd have to catch. Because what's a...
It's like $1 million for one of those exotic tuna, isn't it?
Yes, yeah. Right around there. So we're going to have to catch... If it's $20 billion, because we're going to need some cash, too. We're going to have to catch I would say 3,000 of those.
Well, thanks to Ron and Scrappy, we've got our tuna boat, Brother Chad.
We are on our way. It was a good interview. I enjoyed having Norm in, and it's interesting. It's like, and I know we're trying to get people from the other side to come in and, find out what's the real truth. Because here's the thing. Everybody's throwing stuff out there. Do I see value there? Is there, they're looking at, there's another study that's getting ready to happen, I guess, where they're looking, can we keep this and then maybe add some stuff over here? What's it worth too? That's the other side of it. Do you imagine how many chilies we could put there?
With the L wearing a boot?
Yeah, absolutely. With the L wearing a boot. Well, you need that, right?
Yes, sir.
Applebee's, the A's wearing
instead of a dot over the I, it's a cowboy hat.
That's right. That's the thing that matters, people. That's the thing.
See, that's a Nashville Chili's.
You won't find that anywhere else.
Has George Jones ever eaten here? No.
No. George hasn't eaten here. George Strait hasn't eaten here. George of the Jungle.
Jelly Roll hasn't, and neither have any of the other new artists.
Riley Green, his place up the street. You want to go there? Oh, man. God, now I'm hungry. God, Chris I forgot. What did he get? He got from...
He had some weird, him and Mason had some kind of weird...
Hot chicken with poutine.
Yeah, it was hot chicken poutine.
Hot chicken poutine.
Oh, it's good.
Is that French?
Yeah, it's Canadian.
It's Canadian. It's French-Canadian.
Yeah, you take hot chicken and you put it on top of French fries and you smother it in till it can't breathe.
Wasn't there supposed to be like gravy stuff.
Yeah, there's some sort of sauce in it, too.
Yeah, I was trying to figure
it's
that out.
outstanding.
I put it like this. I walked in with some cheesy bread, my favorite thing, from Little Caesars, and I smelled his food. I'm like, man, I want some of that.
Yeah. Oh, because I walked in, I was like, who's that? Is that? First, I'm like, because the fries, I thought, there was noodles. I'm like, oh, you got your little Italian. It smells kind of Chinese, like the Chinese. And it's like, no, it's got the poutine on it, a little bit of the hot chicken from Fair Sports, Play Sports, Party Fowl?
Party Fowl.
Okay.
Yeah, fowl spelt F-O-W-L.
Yeah, I see what you did there. Oh, good God. That was, now I'm starving. I haven't eaten today.
I had me a bologna sandwich.
Did you?
Yes, sir, with some cheese on it.
It's nice. Nice.
And mustard.
Oh.
I didn't put mayonnaise on this one.
Shame!
Well, I was talking about, how I've got, I think I'm slightly OCD.
Yeah.
Well, I've got this squeeze bottle of French's mustard that is about to expire, and I'm trying to finish it before it does. So I've been
using it up?
I've been using it up on my bologna sandwiches. I don't know why, because I don't think mustard expires.
I don't think it
does. It?
No. No. Especially, look, I'm sure if you made mustard homemade and you didn't have all the artificial stuff, there's probably a chance something could go a little bit wrong.
Yeah.
This stuff is so baked in. I mean, I know honey in theory is the only food that doesn't expire. And honey is extremely flammable, by the way.
Is it really?
Honey is arguably one of the most flammable things on earth. So just let you guys know, if you're like one day, hey, this is funny, and you catch fire where you're around honey, there's a reason for that. There is. Have some peanut butter, says Steven. I love peanut butter. But you know what? I've been good.
That's the way to go, Brother Chad.
I have not had my peanut butter addiction. I beat it slowly, but I beat it.
That's the way to go.
I love that. I beat it. But I was today, because I was like, I am hungry this morning because I didn't sleep. And I'm like, I need some food. You get to the point, I'm sure you get this way too, Ken. You don't sleep. And then you get to that point where you may not be hungry, but your body's like, we need energy.
Yeah.
You need to fuel us. And so I was, today, because I'm been really good at not, I'm trying to keep it to about 1,800 calories a day, 2,000 if I work out. But I looked and I had jelly and I'm like, I'll make a peanut. Oh, I don't have peanut butter. Shame. Shamed myself, people. Shamed myself. A lot of you guys saying, hey, thanks for having him on for, and look, Norm's a great guy and people are going, why isn't the other side coming on? We're trying to get people on,
Yeah, Murphy's been trying to get this Ingram fella, the other guy on, but
I think Ingram might come on with me because we have a soccer connection. But I don't know.
There you go.
I don't know. He's been very quiet about it. And again, there's so many different forces. And at the end of the day, it's like anything. Follow the money.
I guess my question is, could the mayor, could he stop what Ingram wants to do? I mean, that's what I'm Murphy would know this. Unfortunately, sometimes during Matt's show, I get busy and I can't pay full attention to it. But I know that Murphy's got an issue with Mayor Freddie O'Connell on this.
Well, here's the thing. They're trying to, if they gather enough signatures, and the last poll that was done in May, people were in favor of overturning the charter and allowing it to be redeveloped.
Okay.
So, but, getting them to stop on the vote, no, I don't think the mayor can do anything about it. But like anything else, the question is going to be the how many signatures are you going to get? Are you doing it the right way? There's going to be lawsuits.
Yeah,
when is there not lawsuits?
Yeah, that's one thing I have. There's been some alleged irregularities with the petition.
Yes,
like what it really does.
Yeah, and nobody knows. And by the way, the funding side of stuff too. Bristol has had 3 different things that they have thrown out there. Bristol Motorsports on this, including how much they would put up, how much they were going to rent it for as far as the lease of $1 million a year, how much that they, would put up towards refurbishing some of the stuff. And to the last one where the last one they put up was basically, no, we're not doing anything. And they're probably also wondering what's going on. So, but there's no doubt it needs an upgrade. You know, I mean, it needs an upgrade, and it's either. And I get the nostalgia. You want to keep it here. It's a short track, all the stuff. At the same time, it does need an upgrade. So somebody's got to figure something out, because. And then who would, Ingram wants it. What if they gave it to somebody else to go out? That's the other thing. What if they gave it to another developer to develop? So I don't. This whole thing is. I just say, look. Wait till all the lawsuits are finished, and then we can have a real conversation, because they're coming. Lawsuits, man. We love lawsuits. That should be our Olympic sport. Lawsuits. We could just have lawsuits, because that's everything is a lawsuit. If it's an election, it's a lawsuit. People are gathering signatures, there's going to be a lawsuit. People walking down the street, you're walking the wrong way, I'm suing you. Oh, Lord. You know what we need? We need a little motivation. There's only one person that brings us motivation. At least for me. His name's Rodney. And he's got some motivation for us today, guys. I think you guys are going to find it's going to be uplifting, because I want some upliftingness. So let's do that. We'll do Rodney, some motivation, among other things, straight ahead. Chad Bench Show, Super Talk 99.7. Data. You want to protect your data. You need to protect your data. And Cogni helps you with that. And I'll tell you why. First, anybody get your data out there. And, we talk about flock cameras. They sell to anybody, right? Now, they have, and that's how so many of these things, like we talk about the police, somebody get around stuff. Well, it's just data. And you want to protect that data. So why not turn to somebody like Incogni? They're amazing. They've got me off hundreds of data brokers sites, as well as people search sites, and that's important. Remember, was it 2 years ago, that guy in Minnesota went up and shot out the house in Minnesota? Those state employees and the congressperson? He bought it off data brokers. Anybody can get anything. That's why I use Incogni. They go in, they eliminate all of those, all your data out there, everything, and they make them keep it off. So they've gotten me off hundreds and hundreds of sites, and it's scary how many sites you're on. So why don't you do this? Sign up for it now. Absolutely incredible. You're going to save 60%. It's like $7 a month. Go to incogni.com/Benson, incogni.com/Benson to save big. Take control of your data, because who knows? Somebody could be looking for you, and they're going to find nothing. That's what you want. Incogni.com/Benson.
All right, drivers, got stuff in the way. Over on the west end, a crash, 440 westbound at West End. That's exit 1. Then in Murfreesboro, we got a stalled vehicle on the right shoulder. That's going to be 24 westbound in New Salem Highway. Medical experts talking about a potential breakthrough in cancer treatment, and the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation getting involved into the drug mix-ups at Ascension St. Thomas Midtown that has seriously hurt 4 patients. We'll tell you about it at 2 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Oh, so our guy, Rodney, he delivers the best when it comes to advice and motivation. And I think this one, of all the stuff he has done, maybe the wisest thing.
You don't have to take sides on everything. In fact, often both sides are wrong. Okay, don't get caught up in other people's drama when it's not necessary. Okay, have a super freaking awesome day and stuff. Goodbye.
Sage advice.
That is sage advice. Often both are wrong. That's it. I'm telling you. Because everybody's giving you their viewpoint of something without going, I wonder what the other side's thinking. In fact, I saw somebody the other day, they put it was almost the same, it was the same story, but one of it was from the New York Times point of view, and the other one was from Fox's point of view. And if you merge them together, you can say, oh, look, there's the whole picture. Because each of them left out really important things.
Oh, yeah.
Because you find a niche and you go with it. You know? I mean, that's it. And it was.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you're writing for narrative, you're going to leave some things out.
Oh, yeah. Because we live at a time where who, what, when, how, and why, people don't want to know. Like, that's fine. I want opinion. Yeah, I want to be entertained. And, I've got friends who are journalists, and they'll tell you, man, I don't get paid for articles. I get paid for clicks. I get paid for shares. I get paid for views. I get paid for likes.
Yep.
I'm like, oh, that sucks. And because that forces you to do things that maybe you just don't want to do, which is a shame. It's a shame, I say. A shame indeed. Coming up, a lot of stuff to talk about. Hey, so apparently Jason Statham's got a new movie called Mutiny, and Amazon did the movie, and it comes out in theaters.
Mutiny.
But on accident, Amazon put it on Amazon. So in theaters, or just go to your Amazon.
Or you can just watch it at home.
Which apparently they were supposed to do. So that's interesting. We're also going to talk about what's going on. TBI investigating now that woman who's paralyzed. And it's just this whole thing is becoming a lot of questions, if you will, around that. A bunch of other good stuff on the way. Hour number 3 straight ahead. Chad Ben Show, Super Talk 99.7.
Two o'clock on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. We have a risk of severe weather today. It's in a different part of Middle Tennessee than yesterday. We can tell you about it during the full forecast in 5 minutes. Medical experts talking about the potential breakthrough in cancer treatment, a personalized cancer vaccine showing promise. ABC News chief medical correspondent Dr. Tara Narula reports the treatment built from a patient's own cancerous tumor delayed the recurrence of a serious form of skin cancer and blocked its spread in high-risk patients.
In that group that got the vaccine in Keytruda, they did in fact find a decreased risk of recurrence or spread and no more safety signals than normal.
Tennessee Bureau of Investigation launching an active investigation into the drug mix-up at Ascension St. Thomas Midtown in Nashville. Sources telling News Channel 5 a medication intended for pain management was mistakenly replaced with another drug causing multiple patients to suffer life-threatening complications. At least 4 patients were affected, 2 reportedly paralyzed following routine outpatient surgeries. The hospital says it has taken corrective action while state regulators and the TBI continue their investigations. The hospital's not saying exactly what the mistake was. And Iran has responded to President Trump's new vow to go after countries that help Iran. The Iranian foreign minister posting online, quote, "The so-called economic D-Day is a diversion from America's own crisis, unprecedented debt and surging interest costs." ABC News national security and defense analyst Mick Morroy on the U.S. national debt surpassing the record $40 trillion yesterday.
It's going to have a consequences, like it's going to have a consequences for everything across society, social security, healthcare, etc.
CBS News says its investigation is raising concerns about so-called Nudify apps as students go back to school. The apps use artificial intelligence to alter photos and create realistic but fake sexualized images, often without the subject's knowledge or permission. Child protection advocates say the technology can fuel harassment, exploitation, and even criminal investigations involving students. They're calling on tech companies, schools, and parents to take a more active role in preventing and reporting. Channel 4's Diana Rocco says the future of a major Nashville attraction is in doubt.
Today, a meeting could decide the future of Cheekwood. A group called Neighbors for Safety filed an appeal to stop a parking project there. They are concerned about traffic and safety in the Belmead and Highlands neighborhoods. They also filed a lawsuit against Metro Nashville, challenging the validity of the legal approval that Cheekwood has operated under for decades. Officials at Cheekwood say this decision could change how they operate and threaten their future in Nashville.
As Nashville Metro Council members debate limits on right turns on red, new police data adding fuel to the discussions. Metro Police claiming 47 pedestrian and bicycle crashes since 2025 at intersections where right turns on red are permitted. Intersections with no right turn on red restrictions recorded just 4 such crashes during the same period. A Metro Council measure targeting downtown areas, school zones, and other pedestrian-heavy corridors scheduled for another vote next month. It'll be the 3rd and final. And that's the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
America! Our credit card has hit its limit. Now we're taking out other credit cards to cover that, and we're looking to get a loan. We're in debt, people. That's what we're saying. And I don't think people understand, like that story, the two biggest stories, outside of us trying to do whatever we're supposed to be doing to Iran, which they just went, okay, whatever. I mean, try it. Is the cancer. That's a massive story. It's another step. Could you imagine? And you hope you get to the point, I think it was the Star Trek one where they came back to save the whales, which was a stupid movie, but, whatever. And I remember in the movie, they're in the hospital because they were going to operate on Scotty or something. I just remember, you'd probably know, you're a nerd.
Doctor gave me a pill, I grew a new kidney.
That right there. That right there. That's where you think we're going, right? The future. We're always worried. And I look at AI and I understand the greatness of what could be coming before they decide to eliminate us. There's always a possibility. But that should be the biggest story, like massive story. The fact that they are working on cancer now and the way that this would work with the melanoma is amazing. They take it off of you. It takes about 6 weeks. And then with the mRNA, they're able to essentially build you a vaccine for your body to fight the specific melanoma, which just drastically reduces the side effects to virtually nothing because it's your body and it's amazing, but it's not angry. And then the other thing is the debt. Our debt is so huge, but it's not sexy because both sides have played a role in this. And there's and nobody seems to care, right? But you're going to care. We're spending more money paying for the upkeep of our debt than we are anything else at this point in time. $40 trillion. Do you remember when it got to like $5 trillion and people were like, oh my God. And a vast majority of this debt came. You had Reagan, about $1.9 trillion. And then HW, like $1.5 trillion. And then it went up kind of significantly from there because the war, right? Once Clinton left, it went down, he put on a little bit, but as far as we had a surplus, and then the war came, and then the wars have been nonstop. And then you had, and I went and did a deep dive of ridiculousness today to find out exactly how much was COVID. And so if we were to take away just COVID spending, so, us handing out money and this, that, and the other, we'd still be at like 35 trillion. So it didn't add as much as I think a lot of people wanted to think it did. You know what does? Our nonstop spending. And it's about to get uglier too. It's about to get real bad. Why? Because we got the one big, beautiful bill. Well, guess what? Tax cuts. Big tax cuts. They're coming. And with that, because they haven't really hit it, and we've also got this war going on. So that hasn't really fed into this. So we're looking at adding another couple trillion maybe next year? And watch, I'm telling you guys, after the election into next year, if you think, Medicare and all this stuff, there's going to be massive cuts. We've already seen a huge jump in premiums. It's going to get way uglier, and a lot of services are going to be cut. But we got to pay for those tax cuts. What are we doing? I mean, what are we doing? We go into the bond market today. Bonds, why is that? Because, Bessent went in there and they threw money at the bond market, didn't stabilize it the way he thought. We're buying long-term debt and we're funding it with short-term debt. We're basically paying back and forth. And we got issues.
It's like we got a new credit card to pay off one of the old ones.
Yeah, and all we're doing is going back and forth. And it's not a good situation. And you know what? And that's why when I hear like Mike, you go and you hear somebody like, Mike Johnson come out. He's like, well, we're for smaller government and we're for fiscal responsibility. You've been for fiscal responsibility forever. And no part of you is fiscally responsible. The people that were fiscally responsible, they're gone because you got to spend money. apparently, and other people's money, preferably. Meanwhile, we've been talking today about that horrific incident. TBI is now involved. Got a woman who's paralyzed, family, and people are speaking up about and people are asking the question, like, wait, let's go over this again. How did this happen?
72-year-old Glinda Dorton was scheduled for a knee replacement surgery at Ascension St. Thomas Midtown last Friday on August 14th. What was supposed to be a quick outpatient surgery has now left her without the ability to use her legs. After her family tells us the epidural she received was filled with potassium chloride instead of bupivacaine. Glinda's daughter-in-law tells us she woke up and she knew something was wrong.
She was having a reaction. She was like itchy, and like she said her whole body was burning except for she couldn't feel her legs.
Could you imagine that? So you're going in for something routine and your whole life is about to change because routineness is gone away, and now you are in a position where you're not going to walk anymore.
Christina says Glinda is now paralyzed from the chest down. We spoke with a surgeon at Catalina Island Health in California. He says patients are sometimes given potassium chloride to steady the heart rhythm, but it has to be a slow drip to prevent complications.
You can't do it any faster than that, or you would cause cardiac problems. And if the medicine, the potassium, was to get outside of the vein, then you could chew up the tissue around it. So infusing it straight into the spine, you could easily imagine it just destroying the spinal cord.
The hospital has admitted that mistakes were made, and they apologized for the harm they caused. Dr. Burns says hospitals should be following standard protocols to prevent this from happening, including labeling every medication prior to surgery.
If you didn't have it labeled, you wouldn't know the difference between 95% of medications. They all look like water. There's a few, there's one that looks like milk. There's a few that look, yellow tinted. You have to look at the details closely and look at what you're infusing before you put it in. The last person standing has the ultimate responsibility.
And that's a big deal. I mean, but like you said, 95% of it all looks the exact same. Well, if the chain of command of the medicine is what happened here, and it didn't seem to work, because remember, she is not the only one, but her family's the one that's come out and said, what has happened?
Christina Buell tells us her mother-in-law was very active and was putting off this surgery because she didn't want the downtime that comes with it. But she says this mistake has forever changed their lives.
And then we're also just hoping that we can give her the care that she needs, and this is the rest of her life, and she's still got a lot of life to live. So we're just hoping to make that as good as possible.
Yeah. So I don't think there was any malice, but you don't know, right? You hope there's no malice, but they're investigating. But there was 4 patients involved in this, and I don't know the other 2. There's 2 that were in critical condition, and we don't even know what they got. I mean, we just know there was 4, and I've read and heard a couple different things where the other one is also paralyzed, but we don't know that. But this is the family that's come out and is leading hey, what the hell happened here? And some of you earlier are going, who do you think's going to get the case? Is it going to be Morgan and Morgan? Oh, I'm sure. Rocky? Is it Rocky? Could he get it? I mean, yeah. I mean, because your entire life has changed now. Her husband now is truly her caregiver. You're going to have to redo your entire house. You're going to have to, because everything now is going to have to be wheelchair. She's going to have to make a new change of life where things that she took for granted, like even though she was having surgery, just getting up and going to the bathroom, all of that is going to change now. Your life is something completely different. And the question is who and how much as well. Just a horrible, horrible story. So somebody says, seems strange to happen 4 separate times. I don't know if I have a feeling it probably happened the same day. Because for it to happen 4 separate, because if it was 4, like it was a Monday and then 3 weeks later it was a Tuesday and we're just finding out about this now, I would say that's either incompetence like you cannot believe, or that would be done in a way where it was, you would say somebody's doing it on purpose.
Sus, as the kids say.
Sus, as the kids say. Sus, that's right. So, Chad, I would want them to just put me to sleep forever. Yeah, I don't think so, though. If you have kids, you have a life still in front of you, and you hope and pray for a miracle. But, by the sounds of it, the way that they even that doctor explained there is if it got in straight and directly to the spine, you're looking at it's going to eat away, like a corrosive acid. So that's a totally different thing than, having a slip disc or, maybe this is temporary.
She's going to own part of that hospital.
Is that the hospital? Is that the hospital you'd want to own? Probably not. So, and yes, somebody said if you're paralyzed from the chest down, wouldn't you also require a catheter? Oh yeah, you're going to have that. You're going to have a catheter. You may have a bag. You may not. A colostomy bag. All of that. I mean, again, your life is forever changed. And the things you don't think about when it comes to a wheelchair in your house. You have to have a wheelchair now in your house. And that wheelchair is you're going to have to move things, get things ready. You're going to have a ramp. It depends. And what if they have a condo and they live in the 3rd floor? Again, everything now is changing in their lives. But that's TBI's investigating. If they're if they're investigating, it's probably
sus, as the kids say.
As the kids would say, sus, ladies and gentlemen. That's the voice of young Ryan right there. So it is going to be it's going to be expensive. It's going to be expensive. And if you are a doctor and you're working out of the hospital or you're contracted with them, it depends. A lot of them have different, lanes. Some contract with the hospital to do surgery. Some work for it. There's offer different protections, And then, of course, and like us, not only, we want to know what happened. People want to know, okay, yeah, we want to know what happened, and we also want to know who's paying for it.
Don't forget, there's also those nurses out there that are like freak shows that are killing people slowly, like serial killers,
Well, I don't think this was a serial killer. I'd like to think it's not. Man, you go right to the serial killer, Ryan.
4 Vicks? Come on.
God, right there. Right to the serial killer. Coming up, a lot of stuff still to get to this hour. The tipping world is out of control. People are saying enough. They're like, no more. We're done. Over it. Wait till you hear what they asked one guy to tip on. It is the most insane thing. We'll talk a little bit about that. Got some of the toll road stuff too that Ken's trying to put in. Ken's always trying to put the toll roads in. Go. Just all that stuff, kids. So much stuff still to talk about today. Chad Benson, Super Talk 997. So, all right, Bulwark Capital. You guys need to talk to my friends over at Bulwark with all the stuff going on in the world today. It's good to get a second opinion on your investments and your retirement, and that's why you talk to my friends over at Bulwark Capital. Lower risk, lower cost, lower volatility. They're about looking at situations like what's happening geopolitically, as well as here, debt, bonds, the whole 9 yards, and picking a right path to protect yourself, but also give you the most upside. And that includes investing globally rather than just singularly looking here in the United States. It's a free Know Your Risk portfolio review, absolutely free. All you have to do is go to knowyourriskpodcast.com and sign up for today. KNOWriskpodcast.com. Bulwark Capital, they'll go through everything, show you about their risk management style, their fundamentals, and how they do it, and away you go. Worst case scenario is you'll learn a little something. Sign up today for your free Know Your Risk portfolio review from my friends at Bulwark Capital Management, KNOW, knowyourriskpodcast.com. Da-na-na-na-na-na. You know, somebody on the text line, God bless all of you out there, shot a text out, and somebody, actually two people now have done it, said, hey, you know what, I wonder if it's a mislabeling at the manufacturer. That's something that we haven't talked about. Like if stuff came from the manufacturer or it's mislabeled, like say 95% of all the stuff they give it looks the exact same. Outside of a few small things, it's just clear. And if it came from the manufacturer and it was wrong, that's a manufacturer. You can't, well, the hospital, I mean, there's nothing they can really do about it, right? Because I'm trusting that you are saying it's this. You know, it's whatever it is. It's saline and it's not saline. You guys put the wrong thing together. But you wonder if it would be more than 4, you would think.
It would be more widespread. I mean, you'd have other cases of it.
And other hospitals potentially. Yeah. So, but again, don't know what it is.
But this cluster implies that it's highly localized. It's either the person or like one bottle, you know?
Yeah. And let's see here. Kathy. 63. Chad, I worked in surgery. Sounds like this may have happened in the pharmacy. Once the nurses have the meds, there are multiple protocols in place to keep things like this from happening. Nurses have to go by the label on the meds as to what it is. Yeah. You know, it's again, we've talked about the chain of command kind of thing. You know, here's this. It just doesn't arrive there with only one person, several other people, and they're checking it off. They're writing it off because you're playing with human beings' lives. Even if it's something as, supposedly simple as a knee replacement, which, it sounds weird, but nowadays those things are so routine. When my mother had hip replacement, it was the craziest thing. I was so shocked. The guy had it done. I mean, she went in and we're like, all right, Mom, see you later. I said, well, I'm hungry. Let's go get something to eat downstairs. And so we go downstairs, and then my grandfather comes down like 20, 30 minutes later and goes, oh, yeah, your mom's already out. The guy's like, it was simple and easy. I do so many. That is, it's not, even though that is simple and easy, all the other stuff leads up to it isn't as routine because anything can happen. Anything, baby. So we would see. We'll see. Again, the TBI is investigating. Meanwhile, we're talking about the debt, and some of you, John, look, our debt is so out of control, and I don't think people understand what this means. I saw Trump out there yesterday talking about how great the economy is. For some, it's good. For others, it's a struggle. And to downplay that is a disservice to the people who are feeling it, feeling the inflation, feeling the cost of stuff. And this means we're probably not dropping rates. Now, one thing we could see, it's a weird thing, because if we dropped rates really low, we could actually refinance our debt. But the problem with that is, once money becomes cheap again, people spend. When they spend, inflation goes up, and it'll go up really fast. So you're walking that weird fine line of inflation, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how much money government brings in. We could bring in $50 trillion. What did you talk about? What's the rock out there? How much is it worth?
It's called Psyche 16. 16 Psyche.
Yeah.
And according to the robot, it has $910 quintillion aboard in various metals.
So we could bring that down today. We could throw a lasso, just bring it down. We could pay off all of our debt, and we'd figure out a way to spend 100 quadrillion, gazillion, Googling, because government spends and borrows and spends and borrows. That's just what they do, because everybody's got their hand out, because they need donors and they need money. And while everybody's got their hand out, guess what? They're giving you something and they expect something from you. And so we're in a position. I mean, Trump did not and is not going to do anything about the debt. It's just not going to happen. It isn't. He can talk it, but he's not. And remember, Trump is only a portion of this. Republicans and Democrats, since Reagan, since the $40 trillion, right? 40 trillion is where we're at. 21 trillion are the Republicans, 19 trillion are the Democrats. And if you take out like 5.5 trillion because of COVID. That was a once in a lifetime thing, you would hope. It's 6 and 1/2 dozen the other. They don't care. They just want to spend, and it's not their money. Nobody spends their money like that and gets away with it. Just don't. And so we're in this position, and this position is ugly. But, some of you care, but a lot of people out there just don't. So, they do not care, which is insane to think, but that's just the reality of, they say they care. Like Mike Johnson out there, we're for fiscal. You're not for fiscal. You're the most irresponsible group of people. I mean, if all of us, if we spent like this, we'd have to file bankruptcy over and over again. I mean, it's basic math. What's the basic math? I have $1. I'm going to spend $2. How many dollars do I have? Well, you're down $1. Well, then I'll spend $4. Now how many dollars? Well, now you're down $3 on top of it. Just insane. Insane. Talk a little bit more about this. Also, toll roads. Talk a bit about that. Because, people are excited about the toll roads, and it'd be a long time before they're finished. Let's just put it that way. Long time before they're finished. We good? We good?
That's my sign that implies I have no control.
So, yeah. So what's the no control mean? What's going on in there?
A man has arrived from the internet and controls things in front of me.
So we just sit here now? Go on?
We can talk about, how about them Cubs?
How about them Cubs? So you have no control on your board at all?
I can do something, but I might interfere with what he's doing, and I like my job here.
Well, I don't. Yeah, but the thing is, we've got bills and stuff to pay, so maybe we should try to do that. Should we do that? Talk a little bit more about stuff. Let's try that and see what happens.
I will mash a button.
Chad Benson, Super Talk 99.7. As we're talking about this, what do you think is eventually going to happen? What's the old saying? How long is this going to last? Until it doesn't. And that's going to be what happens with taxes. At some point in time, austerity measures and taxes are going to be raised, just the way it is. And so you need to call Beacon, especially if you're in a situation where you're retired or close to retirement, and you want to make sure you have a strategy to protect yourself, because part of enjoying retirement is keeping as much as you can. 615-488-9303. Call Beacon today. So maybe you're on a fixed income, right? Higher taxes, you know what that does? Eats away and can have a huge impact on your income. So when you talk to Beacon, they're going to show retirees, pre-retirees, what they've done. Forward-looking tax strategies designed to help create greater tax efficiency, right, throughout the retirement. Because it's, again, about how much you can save and keep. Because eventually they're going to come, as we all know. Call Beacon today. They're going to help you evaluate your strategies aimed to reduce the impact of taxes on your retirement income. Call Beacon at 615-488-9303, 615-488-9303. Check them out online at askbeaconnow.com to learn more. For Beacon Capital Management, this is a paid placement. A lot of you guys chiming in about the debt. It's sad. Government, the way we spend. I mean, we're at a war, and and Trump now is he's going after them financially. That's the big D-Day, right? Which there's nothing behind it. The Iranians came out and laughed. And look, Iran is struggling, but here's the thing: they've been dealing with this for 47 years. They've insulated themselves, and their thing is, we're harder than you guys. You guys, this is an existential crisis of our survival, especially the leaders who have nothing else. You got to think about it that way. They're animals against the wall. How do they fight? Injured. They're if they know it's a fight to the death, they're going to fight back. Because what else is there? Was there going to be some sort of regime change and these guys are going to lay their guns down and everybody's going to be okay with what happened? No. So they've built themselves up enough of gold. They've got yen, they've got yuan, they've got dollar bills. That's how they fight their inflation and buy goods and keep their little, for lack of a better term, it's all black market.
I was thinking earlier, isn't it kind of weird as a government, we never buy gold?
We do. You don't know about it.
They never talk about it, but no. I mean, if they are talking about doing it, where's the money coming from?
But by the way, we print all the money we need, don't we? That doesn't work, by the way, because every time they print a dollar, your dollar is less.
What I'm saying is, like, you never hear about Congress approving, say, $20 billion to buy some gold or something,
No, but I also thought we were going to find out what's in Fort Knox. Remember that? The big thing. We're going to go find out what's in Fort Knox. We never found out anything that's in Fort Knox.
And Area 51, they were going to raid that, too.
Yeah, well, that's never happening. So, but when I look at, like, Iran is built in a way that fiscally they can't withstand it forever, but neither can we. And their bet is you guys will eventually get over it and say we've had enough of this, and Trump will be forced to make a change. I mean, so and because the people inside of the White House, the people that I talk to say they're at the point now where the bombs aren't working. They recognize that. And what it's doing is it's energizing the people that may hate the IRGC and the regime, but they do not want to be blown up. And so it's that weird thing. So they're going to go after him for this. And the way that they're going to do this is they're already sanctioned to the hilt. There's no more we can do. So now we're going to sanction anybody who deals with them. But the biggest dealers are Russia. What are you going to sanction Russia? They're the most sanctioned nation on the planet. So there goes that. Are we going to sanction China? That's a big deal. Are we going to come and say, all right, we're going to put tariffs on you for dealing with them at a time when we're worried about the economy? Probably not. And China has gone about over the last decade or so to try to get to a point where they can withstand this kind of, potential manipulation. So we're stuck between a rock and a hard place, or Iraq and a hard place. And honestly, we shouldn't be there. We've lost lives, had service members injured. It wasn't thought, we didn't think through this. We're great at getting in stuff. We're great at getting into things, but it's the landing, if you will, right? So, we're not sticking the landing because we didn't think, okay, what's the exit look like? What does it look like? What are the 10 things that, this thing could play out to be? Is it we get everything we want? Okay, that could be one. Is it they're going to close the Straits of Hormuz? By the way, everybody knew they were going to close the Straits of Hormuz and throw up a roadblock or waterway block. Everybody did. So now what? I mean,
you could always mine the coast of Iran and give them something to think about.
They're already mined. They mined it themselves.
They know where those are. See, but we put our
They
own
don't
down.
know where they are. That's also part of the problem. They're dropping them willy-nilly. They don't know where everything is.
I thought they got transmitters on them to tell them what's going on.
Some of their stuff is so old. Here's the thing. It's not about whether or not you could shoot a ship down or anything. It's the fear of having your ship sunk. Nobody's going to insure anybody to go through something that's that dangerous.
We have to move to crude carrying submarines.
So, and so this is it's a nightmare. And we didn't think the thing through. And now we have to figure out, okay, what's it look like at the end? But I don't foresee them capitulating anytime soon, and I don't see us. I think this is what we're going to have. We're going to have this stagnation of us staring at each other, hoping that something takes place, that one of us blinks. And, you know, for them, they recognize their blinking, if it does come, is going to come after the midterms and maybe into the new year. So it doesn't mean this stuff can't work, but it's, you know, you're playing a very long game with a country that is used to having inflation and having to build their own economy and world. And unlike North Korea, right, where they do that, but it's weird.
Juche.
You know, I mean, you go look at North Korea, their whole economy is just a bizarre economy, as we know, and they're more control. They built their own world and allow much more freedoms in that sense in Iran than they do in North Korea. So that's why, I mean, you see, people are on the streets. They're nervous and they're frustrated, but they're still going to cafes. They're still going out. They're still, you know, things are more expensive, but they're still spending money. It's, you know, and one of the big metrics that you look at in a situation like this is how close are they to turning on and the protests rising? And right now, the IRGC has 100% control. More so than even the economic side of stuff. If that starts to change, then we'll see what happens. But right now, this is just going to be one of those things where everybody's going to stare at each other. Everybody's going to stare. Speaking of stuff that's interesting.
Here's what's sparking some new fear over this 26-mile toll lane project. See, because the plans aren't 100% finalized, TDOT and the Transportation Modernization Board, which created to oversee the project, they can't say how many homes or businesses will have to be bought out by the state through eminent domain and demolished to make way for on-ramps and exit ramps. And so today, even before the state named a group called Drive Tennessee as its private partner in this project, the board voted to approve expanding those toll lanes in 3 directions. Now, expansion isn't set in stone yet, but if it happens, the project will grow in 3 directions.
So the toll roads, the 24, the dreaded 24, right? It's dreaded. So we're going to toll roads, and we've been talking about this. Who's paying? Who's going to get it? How much is it going to cost? How long is it going to take? Is there going to be eminent domain? They're going to come in and swoop in and take some of these houses? Lots of questions.
North along I-25 and I-65 through downtown Nashville. East along I-40 near Nashville International Airport. And south through Murfreesboro along I-40 towards US 41. But here's the problem for folks living in those areas. Expansion means more exits. More exits means more people will likely lose their property and more neighborhoods will suffer through nearly 8 years of construction, noise, and diverted traffic. Now, Governor Bill Lee, who championed this project through the state legislature, and TDOT Commissioner Will Reed said the project is going to set a new national standard for public-private partnerships, ultimately save TDOT money and having a private company finance, build, and operate it, and help cut down on traffic congestion along the I-24 corridor.
Which is big. I mean, traffic congestion, as we know. I mean, there's not a day that doesn't go by where Ken doesn't lead with one of the traffic reports, even as we start, that something has happened. I mean, it's, you know, it's frustrating. Like, I like to go play pickleball over there at Pickleball Kingdom. Love Pickleball Kingdom. Go over there. There's some nights I'm like, I just don't want to deal with the traffic. And that sucks. It's like, okay, I can either leave here right at work and then wait around for 2 or 3 hours before, you know, we get out there and play, or I can do what? Leave at, 5 and it's a nightmare. It's frustrating. So we'll put some toll roads in. Sounds great. But the question is, when is it going to go in? How long is it going to take?
But here's Commissioner Reed, followed by State Representative John Ray Clements, who isn't buying any of the promises the state's selling on this choice lane project.
This one project, 26 miles, is $9 billion. We would never be able to afford this project and address congestion for the Tennesseans that deserve it, the people that drive on our facilities, without a model that leveraged private sector capital and the ability to innovate and bring us a solution that, again, leverage that private capital to be able to build a project in 8 years.
I've asked for years for reliable data to show how this is going to reduce congestion in the greater Nashville region and on I-24. I've yet to be provided with a single data point showing how this will reduce traffic for the families I represent.
Well, again, when you go, here's the beauty of studies. I can get a study to say anything you want. That's the thing. You can go get some studies to say you need third party to come in and be as objective as possible, which is hard to find. Because if you're paying for a study, they recognize that. So you're paying for a study. You're paying for a study for a reason.
That guy was bending his back over not to say debt. He kept saying private financing.
Public-private financing. You know, it's like, hey, you guys put all the money up, and we'll throw some stuff in as well. And then over time, with the money we collect after you guys paid for it, we'll pay you back. Oh.
I think they ought to bring Musk in and let him do a counter quote on this, doing it the tunnel method like he's doing at the airport, you know?
Yeah, but see, the thing is the tunnel method, that's going to be... That's like going on a ride. If you've been in the one in Vegas, it's like going on a ride. You get inside a Tesla and there's no driver. It's like going on a ride at not Disneyland or you know, or
Jurassic Park cars.
Yeah, it's not the same as traffic. So you're not going to have 50,000 cars underneath. That's just never going to happen.
There is some good news for some homes and businesses that believe they would be losing their property when this project was initially greenlit. We're told today the design plan by that group, Drive Tennessee, will not demolish the new Pan Asian Market off Bell Road or the Noble Place townhomes. Now, the fine details of this project and the state's deal with Drive TN still have to be ironed out, but we're told financing should be in place with construction starting in early 2027, and then the whole project should be complete 8 years later in 2035.
Just in time for your afternoon drive home in 2035. And again, that's if everything goes to plan. And as we all know in today's world, not everything goes to plan. A lot of people texting in. It's funny, it's interesting. Sally texts in and she goes, America is pretty tough, you know. We only get upset at the big things, you know. You know, like when there's not enough fluff in our latte. Yeah. Look, America's tough. But for a reason, right? When we got attacked in 9/11, America came together and everybody would volunteer. Everybody would do the things they needed to do at that point in time. People are sitting around looking at Iran and thinking, we're not buying what you guys are saying. You lied to us about Iraq. We spend trillions of dollars over there. We've been fighting these endless wars for a long time. And nobody was going to bed at night going, they're going to wake up tomorrow and all of a sudden New York's going to be gone. It wasn't happening. If there's a reason for us to be tough, you know, and you fight different, you know, like Ukraine fights different because they're fighting for their lives. You throw in the Russians in there, they don't even know why. They're like, they look like us, they sound like us, they speak the same language for the most part, with a little difference in dialect here and there. We used to be the same, and why are we fighting you guys again? So, yeah, if we were attacked, totally different story. But for us, the everyday, right? The cost of financing, will they get the racetrack done or won't they? The cost of financing, money going up here, how long is it going to take you to home, how much stuff's going to cost. You're thinking about the things that everybody thinks about every day. And I could, to a person, nobody was going to bed and I going, oh, I bet the Ayatollah's got a nuke and he's ready to go. I bet he does. Bet he's ready to roll at any given time. I heard somebody the other day go, well, if we didn't do this now, they were going to blow our entire country out. There would be no cars left for gas. And I thought, are you that stupid? Really? So they're going to get one and it's going to be so big that it could kill everybody. Well, if that's true and they could do that, we need to go find those scientists who are doing that.
It's worse than the Tsar Bomba.
Yeah, it was just some people, a little overreaction. Overreaction, I said. All right, we're going to wrap it up. We got Matt here today. I know Matt and all the guys were here because it's their day when they go do their podcast. I see them wandering around. We have a little welcome Matt straight ahead. Chad Bench Show, Super Talk 99.7. Home Title Lock. Home Title Lock. They're awesome. All right. Now, let me tell you something, why it's important, your title. You probably haven't checked your title in years. You know, everything's public records. So your name, your address, property information, documentation, carrying your signature and everything, that is public records by law. So with AI, with all this stuff, they could steal your title in no time at all. I was talking to Matt Cox yesterday, who did a lot of time way back in the day, to the point where he was one of the most wanted people in America, and Dateline did a special about him because he was stealing people's homes, selling them, taking outside. He says it's way easier now than it's ever been. So that's why Home Title Lock. It's simple and easy. It doesn't cost you a lot of money, and it protects your home, your future, your world. You get 24/7. They're going to monitor everything, right? And if they alert you to any changes, and on top of that, should something happen, you become a victim of title theft, guess what? They'll spend up to $1 million of their own money making sure that your title's restored. So why don't you do this? Go to HometitleLock.com today. Use my code Benson. That's HometitleLock.com/Benson. You're going to get a free title history report plus a free trial of $1 million triple lock protection. HometitleLock.com, promo code Benson. HometitleLock.com, promo code Benson. All righty. We're wrapping it up on this beautiful Thursday. What's up, Matt?
What's going on, everybody?
What's going on?
I hope everyone got a little rain last night.
Man, I did.
Did you?
Oh, yeah. It was thunder and lightning.
If we got, and I'm thinking about Ken Weaver. He had to leave early today, but I got a message from Ken as I was getting home last night. He said, "Hey, if this stuff gets bad, you with me?" I was like, "I'm your ride or die, baby. I'm your Huckleberry." And thankfully, it did not get bad enough that we had to do anything. But some good rain came through last night.
I got hit this morning because I was up because I don't sleep. Thank you very much, Mr. Kitty. And it came big time right around like 2 a.m. It really hit.
Yeah, popped it. Yeah, well, we need some.
We need some rain. I'm not complaining.
And it's a little, less humid today.
It's nice outside.
Nice outside.
Nice. I'm glad we're indoors.
Let's go play golf.
I wish.
Yeah, Jackson can hold it down, right?
Yeah, he can. He's good. He can do the news. He can do all the stuff.
He can do the news. He can do the traffic. He can do the talking.
All
of the things. Yeah.
But he would want somebody else to push the buttons. We'll leave Ryan in there. He can just do that for him.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Right on.
Yes, please.
Yeah, there you go. See, Ryan's good with it.
Yes, please.
So
I heard that.
What are you up today? What are you talking about?
You know what? There's a lot of we got a lot of the same stories. I've not been following the story out of Massachusetts involving the woman who killed her children, and she's claiming postpartum depression. But I did a little bit of a dive on it.
Postpartum psychosis.
Psychosis, right, sure. I did a bit of a dive on it, and it's very reminiscent of the Andrea Yates case from Texas in the early 2000s.
Oh, God. That was
where she drowned 5 of her children. And, it's a very depressed, but I am willing to learn and listen. I don't know a lot about postpartum depression. I don't have any kids. And so I'm willing to learn. At the same time, my knee-jerk reaction is this is, just because you claim that you had some sort of mental infirmity that would lead you to do this doesn't mean that you're necessarily not responsible for what you did. But then we do have a provision in the law that says crazy is crazy.
Yeah, we do.
And we don't put crazy people in prison. We put crazy people in a mental hospital.
That's right.
And so then that begs the question, and smarter people than me maybe can inform me, when does postpartum depression become postpartum psychosis?
Like, when's that cross that line?
Yeah.
When my wife, when we had Charlie, she was down for a few months. It was really bad at times. I mean, it was like really.
Right.
But, this is,
It's next level, right?
It's so next level.
Well, and Andrea Yates, and we'll go over it today on the show. And I'm not here to depress people, but Andrea Yates, there were so many opportunities. And I said it, I remember saying at the time, and I was a much younger man then, but I remember saying at the time that if Andrea Yates is criminally liable, her husband should be criminally liable too, because he watched all of this happen.
Missed all the signs and
just
ignored it.
It was multiple suicide attempts, multiple attempts to take her own life, multiple accusations she's going to take the life of her kids. So, I think it's easy for us to say lock them up, throw away the key. I think it's a harder discussion to say, when does this cross? A buddy of mine who is a psychologist said, a lot of people that say that they're depressed aren't depressed. They just got the blues.
Yeah.
Or they're just sad, or they're just going through a bad spell. Clinical depression and quote unquote being depressed, two different things.
Totally.
So one's debilitating, one is, life altering and potentially life ending. So
it's an interesting conversation. And that conversation about when do you go from being depressed to crossing a certain line where you're like,
right, because at some point I could argue that anyone willing to take somebody else's life is crazy in some fashion. Yeah. So that's the other side of it.
And it's a high bar. I mean, Jeffrey Dahmer ate human beings and they're like, oh, he's fine.
No, sit in prison. He knew what he's doing was wrong.
So
we'll discuss that. We'll also talk about red light cameras and some of the other stories that are out there in the news, and we'll have a good time doing it.
Please do, guys. Have a good one. We'll be back tomorrow.